Thanks for checking out my micro drawings channel. It's a Saturday morning when I'm creating this, and so I'm drawing a picture of Calvin on a typical Saturday morning. That was a pencil and quarter and my Copic multiliner 0.03 for scale. I'm getting started. In this case, it is with a facial feature. If you watch my other videos, you realize I mention that a lot. That's usually where I start, because if you screw up somebody's face or one of the characters' face, it throws it all off. So you might as well start with that. If you screw up, just throw it away and start over. So in this case, I started with Calvin's upper part of his mouth and his nose and his forehead, and there I'm adding on his upper body, his pajamas. And so I'll just keep basing everything from there. There's his little hand coming out, his arm, as he's outstretched. And Copic multiliner 0.03 black pen is a great pen to use. It doesn't bleed when I add the colors to it. There's quarter for scale. So you can see it's pretty tiny, but it works great when I'm adding color because it doesn't bleed, it doesn't smudge or smear, it just holds. So it's great for that. And I've got actually two multiliners. This one, the nib is actually worn down a little bit more, so the very tip of it. So I went away from it because it was, boy, it's getting worn down, but then it's nice to have it that short because, I don't know, it gives me a finer control of it, it seems like, to do some lighter lines. So at any rate, there is the top of Dad's blanket, a couple little movement lines as if he's, slightly restless in his sleep or stirring a little bit. And there I'm adding the ear and the side of his face as he's laying there. So there's his mouth and nose. I'll add eyes, his hair. Again, thanks for checking out the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so and share with other people. So they're adding the pillow and his hand kind of clutching the pillow, holding it up to his head, or, kind of just whatever, snuggled in there in his bed. Little does he know that Calvin is a mere 3 feet above him, ready to land on him and tell him it's time to wake up because it's Saturday morning. So there's just some of the detail on the blanket or the comforter on his dad. So they're pretty much have it, drawn out now. A quarter covers it up. And then I'll get to adding the color. I'm using the Copic sketch markers. There's a broad chisel point, and then there's a fine point. I'm using the fine point. So there's the yellow of Calvin's hair going on. I have to rotate it. I work that fine tip just up to the edge, a little short, because the ink does bleed a little bit onto the paper. I think I could go with a finer tooth of paper that wouldn't absorb as much, but that's something I need to get to at some point. There I'm adding the skin tones onto Dad. Again, I keep rotating so that I can keep that fine tip working up to the line, and it just works better for me to rotate the paper and to keep it away from me as far as how my marker's pointing. And, Calvin's usually wearing a red shirt during the day, so I guess his PJs are going to just be different. Helps to psychologically create this split there between daytime and waking up morning time, I suppose. And there I'd forgotten a little bit of skin on his belly where his shirt and his pants come apart when you're jumping on your dad. And there's Dad's sleeve from his jammies. And then I'm adding just a little stripe like on the pillow that's not covered by the pillowcase. Adding some detail or some color on the detail of the blanket. There, pretty much wrapped up. I'll put the date on August 1st of 2020. Again, thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing. In the last picture here, I'll put a quarter for scale, but then I'll show, people ask sometimes how these get displayed, and there's a small frame that I found, so you'll see that at the end here. And there I pan in, out, and then back in. Have a great weekend.